Thanks for opening up this file. This video will cover an introduction to the mental performance resources available to the USA Women's National Team. Hopefully at this point you've had a chance to go back through a number of the other videos so far, looking at what Karch has talked about with regards to growth mindset, looking at what some of the other coaches have talked about with regard to some of our offensive and defensive systems. This is going to add to what has already been covered, and our goal is to just provide you with an introduction and an overview of what some of the sources are with regard to the mental performance coaching. Before we begin though, I want you to close your eyes. I want you to get an image in your mind of the best volleyball player you can think of. Think about somebody who's an amazing performer. Create an image of what they look like. See them on the court. See them moving. See them reacting. Think about what some of their characteristics might be. What is it that makes you think that they're an amazing player? Is it their foot speed? Is it their power? Is it their ability to have unbelievable court sense, to be able to be exactly where they need to be on the court at any given time? Is it their ability to maintain their mental composure? Is it how they react to a pressure situation? Imagine the characteristics that make this person an amazing player. If you were to classify, if you were to take all of those characteristics and group them into a number of different settings, into a number of different categories, you would essentially find that what makes for an amazing player really falls into four different quadrants, four different constructs. I call these the pillars of effective performance, of excellent performance. And these pillars are their mental skills, their physical skills, their technical skills, and their tactical skills. We spend an awful lot of time in training, in practice, in rehearsals, focusing on physical development in sport. We spend our time with Jimmy learning about how to maximize your capabilities for the best strength, for the best power production, for the best speed, for the best explosive power. That's the physical side of this game. We spend a lot of time working out in the weight room to have that capability working for us. We also spend a lot of time on the court training our technical abilities, getting better at the very skills necessary to play this game at the highest level. The serving, the passing, the setting, the hitting, the defense. All of that is a critical component of being an excellent player. You also spend an awful lot of time focusing on your tactical abilities, your strategies, your understanding and your ability to unpack the opposite team. Of watching them in film and reviewing their tendencies and their capabilities so that you have the ability to make the right decisions in that pressure moment. That's our tactical skills. What we don't spend as much time on is developing our mental skills, is developing our personal thought processes, our ability to regulate and handle our emotions, our cognitions, our responses to the challenging situations that we choose to put ourselves in. That's what the mental skills training is about. That's what the mental resources are that USA allows someone like me to come in and work with you on. So the rest of this video is going to focus on helping you understand what some of those resources are, what capabilities we have, what personnel we have, and some of the tools that we have in our toolbox that we want to share with you so that you can maximize the mental part of your performance so that you've got all four of those pillars working best for you. Like I said before, hopefully at this point you've already gone through and taken a look at Karch's video on growth mindset. This is the underlying guiding philosophy that underpins pretty much everything that we do in the USA Gym. It's also the guiding philosophy that we use within the mental performance component for USA. Growth mindset is a really critical idea that we're hoping that you can internalize and get working for you. Growth mindset is about the process, not the product. Our society spends an awful lot of time training you to be really hyper-focused on the product. Growth mindset is about changing that focus, about shifting that understanding, shifting your ideology to being accepting and embracing of what this process feels like. The idea that you're not just what you already have, what you already are. Growth mindset is about you recognizing that who you are can grow and can develop and can become even greater with a little bit of effort. The focus, the keys to growth mindset, as Karch has already talked with you about, are about your willingness to screw up at times, your willingness, your comfort level at making mistakes, your embracing of the challenges. You have chosen to put yourself into a really challenging situation voluntarily. Most people avoid challenging situations. Doing what you're doing, trying to accomplish the things that you're trying to accomplish, you are choosing to put yourself in an abnormal situation. You're choosing to take on obstacles and to really put yourself to the test. That's the idea that underpins this idea of growth mindset, that we frame challenges as opportunities, that we choose to find the best challenge, the biggest challenge, the things that really test us each and every day. When you come into the USA Gym, you are going to be challenged, both on the court and off the court. As you become a national team player, you are going to be challenged every single day. Not just on the court. It's not just about the opponents. It's also about being challenged by your teammates. It's also about being challenged by travel. It's about being challenged by unfriendly, hostile spectators. Being USA, we've always got a target on our back. That's a huge challenge. And as a member of Team USA, we embrace that challenge. And changing that philosophy, changing that mindset within yourself to recognizing that that challenge is a huge opportunity. That's what growth mindset is about. In that, you're going to make mistakes. You're going to screw up from time to time. It's human nature. It's natural. It's part of life. You're going to make mistakes. The beauty of growth mindset is that mistakes are expected. Mistakes are welcome. Mistakes are opportunities. That's a very different headspace than how most people approach mistakes. Most people look at mistakes as something to avoid, that you never want to make errors, that you always want to be perfect. Perfection is ridiculous. You're never going to attain perfection. You're always striving to get better. You're always looking for the ways that you can take information and use that to improve your capabilities. That's what mistakes are in growth mindset. Mistakes, errors, failures are opportunities for feedback. What you do with that feedback is up to you. Within this USA Gym, within this team, our hope is that you can take those errors, you can take those mistakes, and those mistakes become the data points that help you figure out what's your next step, to help you grow, to help you learn. And the coaching staff, the resources are available to you to give you feedback on what those mistakes and errors are, to show you things that you might not even see yourself, to be able to unpack all of the different ways that you can get better, you can get stronger, you can get faster, you can get more strategic, and you can improve the very basic foundation of who you are, both as a player, but also as a person. Because that's another piece of the underlying philosophy of this squad, of this team, is that it's not just about you as a player, this is about you as a person. You are more than just a volleyball player. You are a performing individual, a performing person. And the mental resources available for you are absolutely about helping you perform better on the court, but they're also really about helping you perform better in whatever domains you're going to compete in whatever domains you're going to perform in, whether that's as a volleyball player, as an employee, as a family member, as a spouse, as a friend, as a daughter. That's what mental performance is about. Which takes us to the purpose of the mental performance resources available for you. The purpose of this component of the USA coaching staff is to really help facilitate your journey. It's to help facilitate the building of cognitive resilience, your ability to be confronted with those challenges I just talked about and embrace them, hold on to those, and become a more resilient, less reactive person, to help you incorporate those challenges, to look at them as a positive thing that you can then use to better affect whatever your next step is going to be. I want to help you get that focused mindset, to help you get your head where it needs to be when it needs to be there. I want to help facilitate your composure under pressure. You are going to be under pressure an awful lot of time. I want to make sure that you're able to keep your cool, that you're able to keep your head, that you're able to keep your focus on what it needs to be on in that moment, keep your energy where it needs to be, and not get dejected, not get upset, not get overly frustrated, not get angry, but be able to take all of that energy, take that emotion, and channel it into what you need to perform at your best. I'm also here to help you develop your mental performance plans. The same way we strategize how we're going to approach an opponent, I want you to be very strategic about how you set up your mental performance plan. What are the things that you need to do before competition? How often do you need to do those things? When does it start? What are the components of your getting ready to perform at your best? If you don't know what you need to perform at your best, it's basically a crapshoot, if you will, to figure out if you're going to be able to produce that on any given day. I want you to know exactly what you need to do, exactly when you need to do it, how it needs to be done to generate what you want to feel like before you go into competition. That's essentially what our purpose is with this mental performance resource. Facilitate the building of cognitive resilience, focused mindset, composure under pressure, that effective mental performance plan ready to go at a moment's notice, both for competition, but as I mentioned, also for lifelong performance. Traditionally, if you look at how sports psychology has been incorporated into teams like USA in the past, we use the term sports psychology to really represent two different conjoined professions, two different sets of resources that are available to you. I look at this kind of as a continuum. On one end of the continuum is the needing to improve my understanding of the world, understand how I feel, deal with the problems that I'm dealing with to get myself back to regular, normal, everyday functioning. I call that mental health restoration. That's where we deal with things like depression, where we deal with impaired judgment, relationship issues, eating disorder issues, things that really interfere with your ability to just operate day to day. The other half of this spectrum is more about taking folks who are doing great, doing well in the world, but who have a desire, have a passion to maximize their performance capabilities. That end of the spectrum is what I consider to be performance excellence and helping you to develop that performance excellence mindset, if you will. At USA, we have the ability to help you on both ends of this spectrum. We've got resources available for you. If you find yourself needing to handle the things in real life that get frustrating, that detract from your ability to even be able to focus on volleyball, but also to help you on that upper end of that spectrum to help you become the best player that you're capable of being. We do have a counseling psychologist on our staff who is able to help on this end of the spectrum, who's able to help you focus on things like, difficulties with social issues, not being able to connect well with others, the feelings of withdrawal that comes sometimes with sadness and levels of depression. We've got folks that are able to handle when you're just really stressed and feeling a bit unbalanced, and that's starting to bleed onto your time on the court. So we've got somebody available to be able to provide those resources for you off-site, in a private way, so that you can talk through and get some help on the things that'll help you get back to that normal, effective functioning. But then we've also got the ability to help take you from that point to see what your ultimate capabilities are, to be able to take you as a great functioning human being, spouse, friend, sister, daughter, volleyball player, and maximize your capabilities on that upper end of the spectrum. That's a mental performance consultant. So within USA, like I said, we've got resources available for you for pretty much the whole range of that spectrum. I'm there to help you on the mental performance excellence end of that spectrum, the upper end of that spectrum, trying to help you become the very best player that you can be. But we've also got the ability to help you when things aren't so great, when you're struggling with some other things, when there's life issues that are interfering with your ability to be able to focus effectively on what's going on the court. We've got Dr. Bob Korb, who is a counseling psychologist, who is an available resource for any of us whenever we have some of those issues going on. If you ever feel like you want to talk to Bob, Bob doesn't come to practice as regularly as I will come to practice, but Bob will be available for you. If you ever feel the need that you want to reach out to him, just tap into me or with Kara Kessens, and we'll get you the resource. We'll get you connected with him to make sure that you're getting what you need. Again, our philosophy, our purpose is to provide for you the mental resources that you need so that you can maximize your life both on and off the court. Focusing a little bit more on that end of the spectrum that I deal with, the mental excellence end of the spectrum, I essentially look at performance excellence as happening on a pyramid of skills. At the very base are the really requisite characteristics that it takes to be an amazing athlete, to be an amazing performer in any domain. You've got to have self-awareness and a recognition of your own mindset and what your beliefs and philosophies are. You've got to be motivated. This is a really hard world that you've chosen for yourself. You've got to stay motivated. You've got to stay committed to what this takes, and knowing that not every day is going to be great, that some of those really hard days, they're really hard for a reason, and you've got to stay committed to what that means for you. Again, that taps back into that growth mindset ideology, that idea that we look for those challenges. We look for those challenges to our commitment because that's what pushes us. That's what stretches us. That's what helps us grow. Once you've got those basic level requisite characteristics under your belt, then we can start working on and strategizing better, more effective ways to think about your performance and to handle your environment. Those are the acquired skills. That's the level 2 part of the pyramid, the white part of the pyramid in there. These are things like developing your confidence and helping you use things like imagery and cognitive restructuring to build that confidence so that you know going into any competition, going into any presentation, going into any performance situation, that you are ready to go, that you're prepared and you're ready, bring it. We also have the ability to work on some things about composure, about energy management, about keeping your cool when things are going crazy around you. This idea of composure, we can do things to help bring yourself down if you're getting too amped up, some relaxation techniques, some centering techniques, things about breathing, bringing your focus in. That helps calm you down when things are going a little bit crazy around you. But we also have the ability to help you figure out how to bring yourself up when you're fatigued, when you're flat, maybe when you're jet lagged and you've got to turn around and have a competition the very next day. How do you handle and regulate that energy? That's about composure. We also have the ability to help you work on your focus. There's a lot of distractions in this game. You've got to have the appropriate focus. You've got to know how to focus on the right things at the right time for the right purposes and filter out all of the things that are desperately trying to pull you away from those ideas. Things like goal setting, things like cognitive awareness, things like focusing on the right thing and keeping your focus, that attentional endurance is a really critical concept as well. Those are the acquired skills. Those are some of the things that I can help you connect to more effectively. My guess is you already have most of these skills in your repertoire. You wouldn't have gotten to where you are without having this already at some level of capability. But we can all get better. We can all improve each one of these things to bring our game up just a little tiny bit. Because the goal that we're looking for is to attain consistency. That's performance excellence. Performance excellence isn't about being able to win a match one time. Performance excellence isn't about being able to make it to the finals of a world championships one time. Performance excellence is about being able to keep that consistency going all the time. Yes, you're going to have fluctuations. You're going to have little dips in performance, and you're going to have peaks in performance. But if you look at the grand capability of somebody over the course of a career, we want to see that performance excellence, that consistency. Maximizing your mental, physical, technical, and tactical abilities is what helps you attain some of that consistency. So again, as you're thinking about where your game is, where your mental game is at right now, are there things that you can get better at? There's probably some things that you're already really, really good at. We don't need to continue working on those. You're already solid there. But let's look at some of the things, some of the skills that maybe we can grow, that maybe we can improve just a little bit. Because if you can look at this list and find one or two things to focus on, and take those one or two things and just get a little bit better, just increase your ability a tiny bit, that's one step closer to consistency and performance excellence and one step away from where you've been. That's what the mental performance resources are about for you. It's about helping you get just a little bit better every single day. And if you take those little steps, who knows where the end result is going to be.